Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Well, guess who's back? Back again. Back at the hoe thing again. I wasn't going to come back for a few reasons, and then I decided I better come back for a few other reasons. So I'm back. I'm back with a new herb of the week. We're going to hang out with cinnamon. And sometimes like people, with these culinary spice herbs are like, how's that an herb? But it's an herb, baby. Cinnamon is definitely an herb. I know over at Herbal Marie, there is a podcast called Cinnamon. He the king, honey. He the king. The king of wands, actually, here in the Herbal Tarot. So we've got quite a few cinnamon cards here. And cinnamon, when I saw that the next herb of the week was cinnamon, that was actually one of the reasons I thought I should go back, because it's warming and, we're coming into the winter season here in Pennsylvania, and it's just straight up freaking cold all the damn time, I just want to wear my fleece-lined men's jogging pants. That's all I want to do. But today I'm in stretchy yoga pants. Thank you, Tristan. I love hand-me-ups from the cousin. So, cinnamon's warming. So that was like one reason. I was like, yeah, it's timely. We just had Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie, cinnamon, all that good stuff. So I was like, yeah, do cinnamon. Then also another thing, the cinnamon in the Herb Crafters Tarot is the 7 of fire. And I have personally had so much fire inside of me, and I just recently started calling it fire. What I was calling it was anger and rage and I don't know, resentment. That's a bit fiery, kind of getting more bitter there, but I've had a lot of fire, like actual anger, rage, and I'm trying to think of that word, like when you want to get back at somebody. Like retaliation. Oh yeah, when you want to kill somebody. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, retaliate. I've had so much anger going on. So I was like, well, yeah, this whole fire thing going on inside me, like I should probably do cinnamon. But yeah, I'm starting to call it more fire. Like instead of labeling things that have happened to me with 3D labeling and words that keep us attached to our pain, I'm just going to start calling it what it actually is inside of me right now. It's fire. I actually have fire inside of me. I'm that angry. I'm that just explosive ready. Explosive ready. At any moment, I could literally ignite and explode out. And that's really not a good thing to stay in. But I'm hoping that as I acknowledge my feelings, I'm allowing it the space to burn up what needs to get burnt. So anyways, that was one reason to come back. A reason I didn't want to come back is, the last pick-a-pile that I did, I literally said, you guys, I need money. Like pretty much, like maybe I hinted a little bit around the bush, but I basically looked at my audience and said, now would be a great time to donate. And nobody cared. Like one person, literally one person sent a donation, and I appreciate that so much. But I thought, you know what? There's like no reason for me to go back to that stupid fucking podcast if my own listeners don't care to tip their waitress. Like when you go to a restaurant, do you tip your waitress? Probably, but yet nobody thinks to tip me. So I was like, well, I'm not going back at first I was like, I'm never going back. Fuck it. I've done 420 episodes. That's enough. But then I was like, I simmered down a little bit and I was like, well, I'm not going back until I feel like I want to go back. Because this obviously has to only be for me now, this podcast. Hi, Sadie. How are you? Good. Good, Sadie. Thanks for joining me today. These cinnamon cards are for you. So it's like, so then I had that, and then I was like, then today I realized with the banter in my head and the fire in my chest, I was like, you know what? You actually do have an outlet, and making podcasts always does feel good to me. Even though nobody supports it, even though my ex is listening on this podcast, like people stalk me through this podcast, and nobody supports it, but yet the benefits outweigh even that, just getting it off my chest and hanging out with the herbs. So anyways, I was like juggling all this, and I finally was like, you know what? It's cinnamon, it's fire, it's warming, it's comfort, it's protection, it's the King of Wands, it's sexuality, it's creativity, it's abundance, it is reigniting a spice for life. I definitely have to come and hang out with cinnamon this week. And then I got to just give it up to Ho, to the Herb Oracle podcast, because I have created a system for myself that feels really good. So today we hang out with a new herb of the week. Tomorrow, all of that we've discussed today sort of sinks in. And tomorrow, on Tuesday, we do some tarot. We've dumped on Monday. Tuesday, we're ready for guidance. Wednesday, we're going to power up. What are we powering up this week? Nurturing, intuition, and remembrance. Yes, I hate doing a Wednesday podcast, but do I like powering up these positive, beneficial things inside of me? Sure do. Thursday, hanging out with the trees. What do the trees want to talk about? And Friday, then we celebrate with a pick-a-pile. Like, I love the way it moves me through the week, especially when I can, be consistent. But even not, I love how it moves me. Like someone suggested once, you could probably record all 5 podcasts in one day and then just have them scheduled for the week. And I was like, yeah, but that's not the point. The point is to move me vibrationally through the fucking week so that by Friday, I'm less of a bitch than I was on Monday. Or by Friday, I'm happier than I started out. Or by Friday, I've added to my wisdom. By Friday, you know what I mean? I don't want to do it all. I don't just want to get it done. I want to actually reap the rewards of pushing record and then having the day by day progression. So anyways, like I don't hate you, but yeah, I do hate you. I'm going to put that PayPal link in the description to give you another chance, because maybe you just didn't hear me. But let me tell you what, girls and guys and my stalkers, I don't know what the holdup is. I'm trying to find employment since my online gigs don't pay enough to like actually be considered income. Like I need to pay mortgage, utilities, insurance, and now child support. Yeah. So I have a lot going on right now in my life, and I don't know what the holdup is with these jobs that like almost happen but then don't. Like I have a job that working in the schools. Well, you got to get 4 clearances and 3 of them have come back, but my FBI fingerprints, I don't know what the heck is taking so long, and I can't start working until that clearance comes back. So there's just like things like that, like stuck in my energy field. And so I'm trying to make the best of it and be productive while I'm waiting for work. Like I've been sewing cloth napkins that I'm going to list on Etsy under the Etsy shop called Sewn Squares. Yeah, there's a little story behind that name. It's a good name, Sewn Squares. That's like one way that hopefully maybe I can put some pocket change or, just add to my past due child support. That's a narcissist ex for you. So my ex makes lots and lots of money. He's doing fine for himself. But once he heard that I was not working, and maybe this was his plan all along, to just really like kick me when I'm already down. So that's been like a big theme this year, from these narcissist men that I just am like a fucking magnet for. Like, what is with people who know you've been injured and are going to come take a stab at you anyways? So that was the last boyfriend too, old Brody from the Bendy Brush barbershop. He knew that I had just gotten out of a 13-year-long marriage with a narcissist abuser. And yet, what did he do? He lied, he betrayed, he put another knife in my back, knowing damn well I was already injured. Like, I don't really understand what this is doing, except, as my friend Asiel the Oracle reminds me, it's just making me stronger and sharpening my tools. But it's like, whoa, like, anyone else want to take you? Here's a knife, there's my back, your turn. Would anyone else like to take advantage of me? Or hurt me? Or listen to my podcast and not donate $5 I hope I've like run most everybody out of the room at this point. Like, I just really, so this is where this fire is coming from. I'm tired of people hurting me. I'm tired of people lying to me and about me. I'm tired of people like my ex is turning my daughters against me. What am I how much more can I handle? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. So anyways, cinnamon. I'm going to start with this first card here. It's an essential oil card, and it's from Botanic Whispers. And there she is, belly belly out. Her belly and skirt are made of cinnamon sticks, and she's carrying all these cinnamon sticks like above her arms, but she's so graceful and beautiful. And she's wearing like a red satin and gold cropped shirt, and she's just amazing looking, even though she's got all this weight on her. And that skirt made of cinnamon sticks can't be too light. It's, it looks pretty dense. But she comes in with a message of comfort, protection, and home. So right away, Cinnamon is reminding me personally, since this podcast is just for me now, I guess, that thank God I have a home, right? Thank God I have a safe space, which got rattled knowing that I let a snake hang out with me for 6 months in my house, right? That's been like very emotional for me, thinking that some son of a bitch could lie and trick me again, and literally be in my home when he was made of darkness, and I'm sort of like, so I'm thankful now that like I'm purifying my space again, keeping it my protected comfort, place. But yet I'm like, oh my God, like, why didn't I know? But then I did know, because that's what prompted me to snoop in his phone and find out so much nasty shit. It's unbelievable. So my intuition was working, but I think like I just have to forgive myself for wanting to love someone so much that like I was only seeing the good, and I was enjoying loving. I was enjoying so much that if there was other signs, like before my intuition was harassing me to to look, I just had to forgive myself, like my friend Osiel says, you can't feel bad for being a loving person, for wanting love. He's so proud of me for just, always exploring and not being scared. But it's like, oh my God, it makes me rage. It makes me so mad that somebody would make themselves comfortable in my home while they're lying to me, while they're disrespecting me, while they're wasting my time, while they're making me look stupid on the down low. It makes me so angry to be disrespected like that. It really does. So the flip side of this cinnamon card is exposed. It's irritation, and it's outsider. So that's exactly what has just happened to me. You know what I mean? Like I exposed an outsider for who he was, which seriously, I don't know what these liars think. They're going to get away with stuff? The truth comes to the surface eventually. And especially in a small town, oh my God, you're not going to be able to keep this under wraps. You can't be running around with a half a dozen or more local ladies and they're not going to eventually get to know each other, and their husbands are going to know. So anyways, I have to just take a little faith and a little comfort in knowing that things do get exposed, all the time. And sometimes it seems like it takes a while, if you're waiting for grander things to be exposed in the world. Sometimes it takes forever, but Cinnamon is saying, hey, just for this today, for this week, could you just appreciate your home and your comfort and your protection? For right now, you're okay on your mortgage, right? So just enjoy the fact that the heat is still on and your house is comfortable and beautiful and safe, and there's no more snakes in your house. It's all right, good. That is something to be thankful for. So Cinnamon says, I feel safe, warm, and loved within my home. I leave the irritations of the outside world behind as soon as I cross the threshold. So this is literally just straight up leave the outside problems outside, which hopefully I'll be able to do too as well, except that my problems were originating inside this home. But it's I do want to keep pushing it out of the house. You know what I mean? Clearing the energy, releasing the old story. I was invited to go somewhere yesterday, and I literally could not leave this house. I was I don't want to be anywhere else but here. Also, I don't feel like hearing anyone else's story or drama or gossip, and especially my own. I just didn't even want to talk ever again yesterday, So I just stayed in the comfort and protection of my home. I feel safe, warm, and loved within my home. I leave the irritations of the outside world behind as soon as I cross the threshold. So this will be a great affirmation for me if I ever find a freaking job outside of my home. And then if I have a stressful day, I can leave that as soon as I cross the threshold. You don't want to bring your work home with you, I guess. So, all right, let me get a drink and catch a different tune here. Holy smokes. All right, so yeah, I haven't recorded for a while, so now we have to do a 14-hour podcast. Oh, I just was on a roll there, wasn't I? So now we're going to roll into the spirit of herbs with the King of Wands. So, like I said, Herbal Marie did a cinnamon podcast to really get na 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 na. We're going to get a little na 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 right now because we gotta be saved by our nerdiness and learn what cinnamon could be good for. It's good for all the things. I do remember, like, I feel like cinnamon, you shouldn't overdo it, I don't think. Let me see if there's a disclaimer with it. I think there is, like, for pregnant women and all that. But here's what cinnamon can do medicinally. It combines both sweet and spicy flavors that deeply stimulate metabolism and circulation. So it is classified as a warming stimulant, a tonic, a diuretic, which means it gets rid of excess water, a carminative, which it relieves gas. It's astringent, so it's constricting and binding, and it's analgesic, relieves pain. So it is useful for all diseases caused by coldness, including cold extremities, weak digestion with abdominal cramps and spasms and common colds. So I have literally been crampy all morning. Like, that was another thing that made me think that I should come today, that I should show up for my own podcast for myself and do cinnamon. Was like my stomach was kind of I'm trying to like give up all my vices like caffeine and nicotine and replace it with dopamine. I'm trying to replace my bad habits with some squats. Yeah, gotta grow that booty now that the list of people who can kiss my ass is growing longer. I need a larger ass so that they can definitely kiss it. But anyways, if you're cold all the time, I've taken cinnamon by capsules during the winter along with a cayenne pepper and a ginger root just to literally warm up. I feel like I should take my advice ASAP because as the weather dips, it's like, don't you just want to be comfortable and warm? So I also notice that like exercise is helping me be warmer and get my heart rate up and get circulation going and try to retrain my brain. That post-breakup is always so tough because your brain literally was hooked on that person. Even though he did me wrong, my brain still misses him, because we had fun together. We laughed together. Like, even though he was a scoundrel, I did really like him. And now I have to replace that. So it totally makes sense when people just hit the gym, and power up. That's a smart move after a breakup because your brain literally needs it. It will help you. I should have been doing exercise the past month more. But you guys, it's like, it really just launched me into like this inevitable depression that's been looming all year, getting my heart broken repeatedly with, just what's been going on from getting divorced. And this did not help. This really did not help, like if I wasn't fragile enough before, it's like, did I need to just see how many pieces I could break into? And ultimately, I know it's going to make me stronger and stuff, but it's like, holy shit. So there I go, back to it. Let's go. How about cinnamon, Sadie? Cinnamon helps build the internal fire and will. Its warm energy can dissipate inner coldness and allow the creative fires to burn. So that's another reason, why cinnamon is a good herb for me right now, is as like life keeps trying to numb me and make me literally cold-hearted because I'm tired of being in pain. when you feel like everyone just does you wrong, that really makes you numb and cold. And cinnamon's like, hey, let's try to get some of that creative fire to burn. Like, yeah, you've got that, you've had a taste of that raging fire, and it is energy, but could we turn it into a more creative outlet? So cinnamon bark is also good for diarrhea. Just going to throw that in there. And most fevers. So you could add some powder to a cup of boiling water, make a tea like that. I like to add honey to that. So why would you do this? If you're cold, if you have a weak digestion, if you feel like you're getting a cold, you could combine that with some ginger root and some honey and take this warm. It'll help you sweat. Okay. If you drink it warm, it'll help you sweat. If you drink the tea cold or cool, it will increase urination. So depending on what you really want. I feel like all my teas, I drink half of it warm and half of it 3 hours later. That's just like how I drink everything. Cinnamon boiled in milk is an effective treatment for diarrhea. All right, so anyways, that's some na for ya. Spiritually, it's gonna, and energetically, it's gonna help you increase drive and focus. Herbal allies are black pepper, pipply pepper, cloves, and ginger. So it's in that kind of vibing family. Ooh, I acknowledge my inner fires and use my strength to direct my destiny. All right, so I feel like cinnamon wants to help reroute my energy now. Like, yeah, we know what's been done to you. We don't care. Let's redirect the energy. I acknowledge my inner fires and use my strength to direct my destiny. So I will give myself this. It's been a month since this man was exposed in doing me wrong. And it's not like I've laid around and felt bad for myself. I've opened up an Etsy shop. I've still been doing most of my videos for A Course in Miracles on my YouTube channel. I've narrated danielscranton.com every day. Didn't really miss a beat until yesterday, where I skipped one day because I really was. This weekend was like so sad. I just cried and sewed all weekend. Just sat at my sewing machine, making these cloth napkins, crying. Because that's what I needed to do. But like, I've been pretty motivated. I've rearranged furniture. I've, updated some of my spaces. I've done good cleansing. I've actually done a lot, you know what I mean? I've gone places, I've done walks and hikes, and like, I didn't let it break me to like the point where I couldn't get up. I think that's pretty important too. As soon as you know that inner fire is raging, go do something with it. You can only break so many windows and put so many holes in walls that you're going to ultimately have to fix. So it's like you have to take that energy and direct your destiny. So that's who we're sitting with right now, Cinnamon as the King of Wands. And the King of Wands does represent the fiery aspect of fire. Okay, so he's wearing a deep red shirt, and there's a desert behind him, and he's wearing a blue cape, which suggests power and capacity to contain the heat. Thus, there is great reserve of inner strength. So it's like, all right, don't just let the fire burn and then get out of control or fizzle out. Like, contain it. Even in this fire card from the Plant Spirit Oracle that I put out on my desk today, there is this fireball and it has this dark forest green trees growing around it, like, and it's containing it. Like, the cooler greens and blues sometimes need to help contain this fiery red. So like today, I think the moon is in Virgo today, and my little app suggested that I wear silvery, lighter colors. And so I did. I have like a silver gray shirt on. I have my silver piece earrings. And it's like, this is actually a good choice of color for me today, because you've got to contain that fire. You want to reserve the strength, right? So this, like, you're stoking your furnace, right? You wouldn't want to leave the door open to it. You close the door, you know, the little air comes in at the bottom, and then you keep the fire burning all night. You know, you don't want it to burn up too quick. So the king enjoys the feeling of power and control, and has the capacity and energy to use it whenever required. He must learn that there may be virtue in holding back this energy in certain situations, and he must guard against any tendency towards overreaction, impulsiveness, or cruelty. For those who have a lack of the positive aspect of the firepower, it may be time to start developing and finding the inner motivation and decisiveness that the fiery king represents. So it's like, if you don't have enough cinnamon fire, cinnamon's like, okay, we got to get it stoked. We got to get it going. We got to get you warmed up. But if you are maybe like someone sitting by the microphone here who has a lot of it right now, you better learn how to contain it. Overreaction, impulsiveness, cruelty, you know, and that's like been the scariest thing, I think, like having a moment of crazy rage. I saw my potential. I saw my potential to be cruel, to be violent, to be harsh back to someone who has irritated me. That's putting it lightly, irritated me. All right, cinnamon does definitely have a sense of humor. But it's like, it's fire, honey. So it's like, you want to have enough of it, but if you got a lot of it, you got to learn how to contain it. So I acknowledge my inner fires and use my strength to direct my destiny. All right, so fire, fire, fire. 2:22 is actually what time it is right now. So much for this being a morning podcast, but you know, take it or leave it. So we're going to move to the 7 right now, the 7 of fire. That's in the Herb Crafters Tarot with cinnamon. I was thinking cinnamon was the Curandura of fire, but that's Damiana. And cinnamon is the 7 of fire. So I'm like loving this deck, you guys, like to this day. I love how after you've had a deck for so long, and like I've used this deck every Tuesday for as long as I can remember with our Tarot Tuesdays. And yeah, you really do get to know the deck. It's good. It's good. But yeah, lots and lots of fire today. Like, you know, it's just when things get fiery, they start to like repeat too a little bit, you know. And like for example, you know, I don't mind on some level. I really don't mind on some level paying child support, except for the fact that I know that he did it just to be malicious. Except for the fact that, like, I was a stay-at-home mom for their whole lives. And I took care of the house, I took care of the kids, I did the homeschool while he went on and got his bachelor's and his master's, and he pursued his career, and I stayed with the kids. And then when we got divorced, I was stupid and believed that he was going to keep the things that he said. I believed him that he was going to keep his word, and he didn't. And I didn't have anything in writing, and I didn't take him for alimony or marital support or anything like that, even though I would have definitely been entitled to it. I know that now. It just makes me feel so dumb. But I wasn't trying to get out. I was never out to get him, and the fact that he's made it his personal hobby to try to ruin me on any and every level that he can. Like, for example, my old website, allnaturalme.com, which I mentioned in at least 400 of my YouTube videos, he was the one who managed the domain name, because I didn't know how to do any of that. So guess who still has that domain name? He does. If you type in allnaturalme.com, it goes to his PayPal now. And yeah, that's the website that I talked about in all those YouTube videos. And I was Sadie from allnaturalme.com. And why would someone do that? Just to be rude. He just wants to, he gets off on feeling powerful and, if he can hold anything above your head or hurt you, so the fact that there's all that energy behind it, it's just makes it a little all right, I'll just put it on the list. Thanks, buddy. So anyways, I don't know, anybody else dedicate their whole life to their family and their husband only to literally be kicked to the curb? So yeah, there's this fire. Somebody call 911. Sadie's burning fire on the dance floor. So I have to keep dancing and keep moving and keep appreciating my home and keep feeling comfort and protection any chance I get, because it's a teeter right now. It's a struggle. It could go either way. This fire could go nuts, out of control, or it could just dwindle out. See, that's the thing. I can see the rage, and I can see how people literally give up on life. And that's pretty sad. But I totally understand now how, you just don't have anything, really, that excites you, or it's what is the point? Or why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep making my videos and my podcasts and my projects? I just want so badly to dissolve into nothingness, and then spirit keeps me talking, and it's annoying because is my whole life just did I just volunteer to come here to embarrass myself every chance I get? Is that the point? Is that what I agreed to? So anyways, creating our own destiny. What was our last affirmation? I acknowledge my inner fire and use my strength to direct my destiny. So I hope to God that's what's happening. And the 7 of fire has kind of got the feels of destiny. There's a sunstone on this table. There's a rosary that has a skull on it. There is a dusty book of healing arts near a roaring fire. And there's some cinnamon that has been crushed for the de canela, the cinnamon tea. And they must add lime to it because there's a sliced lime also on the table. So this card, this 7 of fire, has a message of answer the call of the ancients, seek vision from ancestors, and take a stand for your whole authentic self. So if I could just continue on my rant here. If indeed I am one of the reincarnated witches, let's just go with this scenario. I've been on this plane before. I've been burnt at the stake. I've been condemned as a Satanist when I was in fact a healer. Right? Think of all the wrongs that they've done to women, especially of the healing arts, especially of witches, especially to the intuitives, to the oracles, to anyone who had vision, who had sight. Literally, men could not handle this power and killed women for it, killed witches. So now, here I am as Sadie Marie Cherico. Still a witch. Still one with vision. Still with sight. Still with power that most men wish they could even have a fraction of. And I'm getting challenges everywhere. It just is a challenge. But I cannot back down. Because I came here this time to take a stand and be my whole authentic self. And so there's a lot of energy right now with the fire. And I think a lot of people, a lot of women who literally were witches and still are, you know, they still feel that heat, you know, and it's like, is it even worth it to try to stand in your whole authentic self? You know where the fuck it got you last time, you know? And this time you're safe to do it. No one's going to burn you with fire. They're going to try to burn you with manipulation and words, and, you know, they're still going to try to kill you and take you down. It's just not going to be with fire this time. But it's like, where do you tap into the support when it's not here for you? You tap into your ancestors. You tap into your previous incarnations. You tap into the ancients. Like, when you are feeling completely unsupported, you make your home your safe space. You bring the energy that you need, that you're not going to find anywhere outside of you at this point, or out in the world. It's just not here. You have to call from within. So that's what the Seven of Fire is saying. These ancestral traditions remind us of who we are. So cast the circle, draw the circle, you know, create your safe space, contain the fire, and let it warm you. So today canala is a remedy of Mexican grandmothers. Your personal power has roots in your own cultural heritage. So when you hear a call from the ancients, start with a study of your bloodlines, learn the history, take the medicine, eat the food of your people. So there is this ancestral, you know, physical outlet that you can look into. But I really feel like, I don't know, every time I pull this card, I never feel like it's bloodline shit. I feel like you've incarnated all over the damn place. It's a little bit more broader than that. Probably galactic, but we'll just stay with planet Earth for right now. You know, it's like, just because your grandparents aren't Mexican doesn't mean that you don't have Aztec and Mexican and Mayan connections. You know what I mean? Just because you're like, well, why am I so like connected to like Old English or, you know, Ireland, or like, you know, like you feel like you're a witch of the woods. You're like, yeah, but like my family isn't. It really doesn't matter. Like, you're limiting yourself to the physical. If you feel like you're connected there, you were there. You were there. You were in Atlantis. Like, you were there. So it's like, if you're called to anything for whatever reason, like I'm always called to the Mayan oracle and the calendar and all their little glyphs and funny face things that they've got. Like, those are like my brothers when I see them. So I continue to keep studying it. I continue to keep studying runes because I'm called to it. So be really aware of what you're called to, because you can get support and vision from them. Devotion to divine beings will deepen your connection, Collect imagery and stories, make altars and offerings if it floats your boat. Take pride in where you come from, stand up for who you are, claim your sovereign path. Your 4 mothers will give you direction. Cinnamon is a strong and spicy remedy. Be assertive and bold in the expression of the true self. So I will say this, getting brokenhearted to the point of it being a clean break away from someone. Like the extremeness of the endings of my relationships. I will say this is plural now. Cut it off so sharply, even though it was painful, like literally like losing a limb in front of you, because like I just was so attached. That clean break gave me ultimate freedom. Gave me this sense of sovereignty. And also, yes, a sense that I don't owe anyone anything. I mean, literally, I don't owe anyone shit. I really don't. I don't owe anything to anyone. It's just this weird sense of like, oh my God, I am free. I am free to be me. I'm free to wear what I want, say what I want, think what I want, be who I want, be who I am. You know, it's like, that's like the most like also embarrassing thing about looking back when you've been with somebody, even if it was for not that long, like the behavior that you knowingly or unknowingly changed or accommodated for them. It's just really like been quite the expansive experience to know all this. But be assertive and hold and bold in the expression of the true self. I really feel like I'm at a perfect place to do just that. So anyways, that's the 7 of Fire. Wants us to connect with our bloodlines and ancestors. And I really felt like there was a strong witchy vibe coming in that really wants you to connect with that aspect of yourself if you're called. And then crafting with the 7 of Fire and cinnamon. Boost your day with fire power. Use extra cinnamon in your breakfast. And I totally did that this morning because I had a rice pudding. And I just loaded it with cinnamon. All right, moving on with some hesitation. Because the next card is about sexuality and creativity. So, I know I'm going to have to be like brutally honest with myself and with myself who's listening, because this podcast is for me. If you would like this podcast to be for you, I will put the donation link to support my work in the description box. All right. Or not, just take advantage of me like everybody else. Okay. So this next card is from the Oracle of the Essences. This was the essential oil deck that came wholly from Australia to get to me, and I love this deck so very much. So this cinnamon card, there is a witchy woman who's holding her crystals up to the full moon. She's like charging them. There's some cinnamon sticks. That must be the cinnamon leaf and blossom. I would have never recognized that because you never think about cinnamon as a plant or a tree or having, you know what I mean? Like you just don't, do you? Yeah. So there's that. I also see little pumpkins in the corner. She's wearing a red cape, like a Red Riding Hood cape, and she's got long hair. It's questionable whether she has a shirt on or not, but her hair is covering her. She's at this glorious window, and there's a crow up at the top. So first off, I love that it's just her. There's a card about sexuality, but there's no dude. There's no dude on this card. It's just her. and sexuality is coming in with creativity. So, being brutally honest with myself, looking back at myself over the past 2 years, like such a hornball, you know, like, where is my lover? Where is my lover? Where is my lover? So the universe sent me lovers, but they certainly were not of the highest quality and or anything like that. But I just have to brutally honest with myself. I have, you know how I've been if you've been following me on my journey, and this whole thing has literally killed that aspect of me. I'm like so disgusted with men and turned off, and that was probably good for me. That was probably a good thing. But yeah, so it's giving me, it's going to continue giving me an opportunity once I allow that energy to flow again, to put it towards other things and you know, start to maybe see sexuality in a different way, you know, not just like, where's my lover, you know. Yeah, it really changed me. I really feel like I'm moving into some different energy. But yeah, like when a situation is so bad, it literally turns you off from all other men ever again. You know it's bad. All right, so cinnamon. Here's some wise words. You can't force chemistry to exist where it doesn't. In the same way, you can't deny it when it does. That's an unknown quote. All right, cinnamon is spicy and playful. She is sexy and appears comfortable with her body. She looks like she can be trouble if you are not careful. She is the goddess of pleasure. Cinnamon helps with blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart issues. It is also beneficial for libido and sexual energy. Cinnamon is considered a powerful aphrodisiac. So yeah, it gets that circulation going pretty good. It's connected to the heart, root, and navel chakra. Cinnamon can help you accept your self-image and feel contented with your body. So that's another beneficial thing that hopefully cinnamon will help us with this week. I mean, getting betrayed did not help me love my body. It didn't. I literally fucking went off this planet, out of this skin. Like I just, it's going to take some work for me, absolutely, to be contented with myself now that I feel like so just, I don't know, so rejected. And it's sad because I'm so cute, you know, but like, yeah, there's just something about getting stabbed in the back and betrayed and feeling like you can't trust anybody, and then like, so everything they said was a lie, and it just makes you feel really, I don't know, unworthy. So anyways, cinnamon is associated with the star sign of Scorpio. She says scorpion. It can be very sensual, but also insecure and resentful. Which is basically how I was just feeling. Cinnamon's character is faithful, very intuitive, and fun. But when cinnamon personality is out of balance, the individual can become jealous and manipulative, as well as ambitious and secretive. So when cinnamon appears in a reading, it is because the physical body needs care. Cinnamon assists individuals rediscover trust in themselves, creating stability and security in any situation. It reminds you to find balance in your desires and release the need to manipulate people or situations. Your creative energy is your sexual energy. open up to this amazing force of co-creation. And the affirmation is, I am full of inspiration and creativity. Oh, I love that every single one of these cards has had an affirmation like already. So it's like we just gonna use them this week because that's the best that I can do. But yeah, so here's, I don't know how I can retell this story without being too personal, but it's like, so we had the full moon, and my clitoris was completely aware of the full moon. But I don't feel like being sexual. I don't feel it. I don't want it. I don't need, like, my body wanted the orgasm, but my heart and my mind was like, could you just fucking leave me alone? Do you know, like, it's so sad for me to not have a lover, because you know how I am. Even though I don't want one right now, it's still sad for me that I lost my lover, you know. But I don't want a lover like that. That's a lover for anyone and everybody. That's not a lover. That's a piece of trash. So, but my body was like, please. And so what, like, I was guided to, do you ever have, like, orgasms that are, like, seriously so spiritual? Like, you feel like you're bringing in energy and anchoring it down into the grid system, like for Gaia, for Mother Earth. You're like, you're like this is conduit of holy light for the planet. Do you know those kind of orgasms? Like, and then there's some that are just like raunchy and primal. But like, so I was like thinking to myself, I have to redefine how I'm going to use my body in this sexual energy. Because like that quote said, you can't deny it when it's there, you know? And it's usually just always there for me. So it's like, where is my outlet going to be, you know? And it's just been like, I had that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to have to really use this for the highest good, you know, because I can't keep hooking up with lowlifes. I can't. I won't. So anyways, it's a new energy to step into, and I feel like this cinnamon, she's like, yeah, that's exactly what you do. That's why I'm alone on here with my crystals in the full moon. You know, this sexual energy does not necessarily need to involve anyone else. You know, you don't have to have a man in your mind or a fantasy or like nothing. You can bring in the sexual energy and orgasm without like it being like a hot dude scenario. Just saying. So anyways, I am full of inspiration and creativity. And at some point in the future, someone introduced me to this link, and I'm just going to tell you in case you're interested. I'm not interested in it yet, but someday when I feel like it's okay to spend $40 on a sex toy, I might look into the Rose. So if you haven't looked up the Rose, and you can put the Rose sex toy for women, look it up, okay? We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right, girls, okay? Just look up the Rose, and we'll leave it at there for now. All right. So I am full of inspiration and creativity, and maybe someday a rose. Okay, we got 2 cards left. I'm writing down the affirmations, and, you know, I feel like part of me wants to just keep it, I am full of inspiration and creativity, but then part of me wants to say, I am full of inspiration and sexual creativity. So there's a blank there. I don't know. Sexual energy is very creative. And yeah, like that is what fuels the universe, it seems like. I guess my only hang up with that word right now is the fact that like I was pretty much sexually violated, you know, like when someone leaves you under the impression that they're only having sex with you, but they're actually having sex with lots of other people behind your back and you don't know about it, that to me is a violation. I literally went to the gyno and had them do the entire STD board, everything, the whole panel, the whole fucking thing, just to get confirmation that my coochie was still clean. Thank God, but it's like, when you're under the impression that like you're the only one, that's like actually really rude. Not just, because it like hurts your feelings, but like literally it's like these husbands who cheat on their wives and they bring home friggin' hepatitis or herpes or gonorrhea or chlamydia or warts or what the fuck have you. Something like tricho something. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of shit that people can bring home when they're fucking nasty hoes behind your back. And it's not even, they don't even have to be nasty, because I think a lot of these women didn't know, they don't know. They're literally just at the hand of a narcissist too. They really don't know. They're getting hurt as well, being this person's new supply or side supply. But anyways, so yeah, like just because I'd had such a bad like sexual experience, I'm like, I don't know if I want to put it on my affirmation page or not, but I do want to help redefine that for myself. It's like, because it's like insulting, embarrassing, and hurtful, like it's made me almost a little bit like shameful then, like to be like, well, I love sex, I really do. I loved having a lover. I loved loving somebody, I love physical touch. I love intimacy. I do. I'm a very physical person, but it's like when you get like violated, then it's like, oh my gosh, maybe I never want to be like this again. I don't know. So anyways, we're moving on to the abundance card from the Enchanted Spelt Oracle. She's got her tit hanging out of this and holding a Ankh. Is that Isis? Who's the one with the boob hanging out? Anyways, that's how abundant she is. Oh, abundance. So anyways, the priestess of abundance. It is time to start thinking about creative ways that you can generate wealth in your life. Yeah, and so anyways, I got my heart broken, and yeah, now money would make me feel better. It really would. It really would. It would be such a comfort and a cushion, and like I'm so excited to get a job and start working and making my own money, even though as soon as I start making more money, my ex-husband is going to take me for more child support. Like even if he can just get a couple more dollars out of me, he will try. So it's quite the arrangement. It's made me feel bad for women who do this to men just to be mean, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so generate wealth in your life is what we're going to talk about now. Look at how you can create different streams of income, not just from one source, but several. This could mean decluttering your home and selling, exchanging items you no longer want or need. It could mean turning a hobby or skill into a little enterprise that runs alongside your main job. It could mean dipping your toe into the share market or even discovering ways to reduce consumption of unnecessary items. So I hope I'm doing all this, or at least starting to. I definitely live simply, mostly. I don't know. I could probably tighten up some things here. I'm trying to do a little sewing on the side, I'm trying to get at least 14 jobs, and and part of me is like, how about a sugar daddy too? I'm not laughing at that joke. I'm not encouraging that part of me to keep thinking like that. Just ignore her. Just ignore her. All right, abundance means different things to different people. For some, abundance is an overseas holiday. For others, it's savings in the bank. Abundance can mean luxurious bedding, a gorgeous landscaped garden or a beautiful view. An abundance of time without having to rush everywhere is a real luxury for some. Find out what abundance means for you and work out how you can include its essence in your life. So cinnamon is coming in with abundance now. I will say this. I do live an abundant life. I mean, I do. Even though like right now I'm getting a little pissed by having time, I really have enjoyed my abundance of time all summer, going swimming and being in the sun and outside and in the woods, and like I'm lucky. I feel like I'm lucky. I have all nice things. I have more clothes and shoes than I know what to do with. Like I do feel very blessed. Most of it's been handed down. I mean, it's all hand-me-downs and shit, but like it's abundance, I got tons of food, abundance, I really have to keep watch that I don't fall into that lack mindset. It does piss me off that you've listened to this point of my podcast and have not donated yet. Absolutely. But I also have to say to myself, God is my supply. The universe is my supply for money, not your listeners. I mean, it'd be nice for them because it's the right thing to do, to support their entertainment and their waitress. But if they can't, or they don't, or they won't, you can't think that that's your only supply. So there were some good suggestions there. I mean, I wish I could sell more of my second-hand stuff, like, and feel comfortable asking money for it. But usually I just donate it or give it away for free, or, it's just like, just get it out of here. Take it. I did sell a washing machine because there was like an extra one here. So like that was cool. But then I turned around and literally just spent that money. It's like, I don't know. Money's interesting. Like I'm seeing water, it's like it comes in, it comes out, but you really feel most comfortable when it's a steady flow. Coming in, right? This rushing water around our fire here, yeah, we want warm water, we want enough water. So abundance. So what does abundance mean to you? Also on this card, there's orange with the cinnamon. There's a medicine wheel behind her with this golden Egyptian all-seeing eye. There's cloves, orange peel, and cinnamon. And all of this different symbologies. A lot of Egyptian hieroglyphs and flowers and triangles and really good stuff. And she is holding an ankh in her hand, increasing that life force. Cinnamon's rich, warming fragrance has been associated with abundance since ancient Egyptian times. So talk about calling on the ancients. In the medieval era, lashings of cinnamon were used in both sweet and savory dishes at the tables of kings and aristocrats to demonstrate wealth and status. Cinnamon's use in money and success spells to generate prosperity is widely accepted. I'm literally going to douse my fucking house in cinnamon when we're done. On a metaphysical level, cinnamon can restore confidence and transform misery to happiness. All right, it's all coming together of why I need cinnamon this week, why the right thing to do was to return to Herb Oracle and do my hoe, so I can finish out what I plan to finish out over the next few months. And for the love of God, feel so much happiness in completing projects and feeling abundant and, learning what I'm supposed to be learning and growing and maybe even walking with my tit out like her in that picture. Oh, that's funny. It's funny because I'm a flat-chested girl. All right, so what else? Let's talk about this symbolism. The priestess of abundance is surrounded by symbols of plenty. Gold coins and decorative pillars suggest luxurious surroundings. She stands under an herb wheel of cinnamon, cloves, and orange, botanicals known to symbolize prosperity. The red base chakra, responsible for attracting material wealth, is also represented. The goddess eye symbol signifies a desire for financial vitality and strength. So, yeah, I do think one of my life lessons is, definitely finances, because when I think back to even first we're dependent on our parents for money, which my mom really instilled lack in me from the get-go, being a single mom who didn't have any money. And then she would give us chore charts where she'd give us 10 cents to empty the waste cans and maybe 15 cents to empty the dishwasher and 20 cents to vacuum. So basically you could clean the whole fucking house for $1.15. So right away I probably learned that, I had to work hard for a little bit of money. And then, I think in high school then, I realized that I could make my own money, and I love to work. I waitressed, and before I had children, I had 3 jobs at once. I'd work in a salon during the day, I'd work at the candy store in the evening, and then a few nights a week I'd go bartend. I enjoyed money flowing in. And so, that was a huge thing probably when I gave up making money to raise children, and then literally became dependent on a man, and then did that for 20 years. It's because one baby daddy to another baby daddy, that adds up to almost 20 years of depending on men for money. And so now I've just come back around to the realization that I actually like to work, and I don't mind it, and I like money, and I should not have to depend on anybody else for it. So anyways, it is time to start thinking about creative ways that we can generate wealth in our life. There is a cinnamon money spell in this book, and I was guessing it was going to be the whole orange and sticking cloves in it, but it's not. It's not. You actually need a potato. So this clever spell uses the magical properties of cinnamon to create wealth, and is adapted from Elaine McCoy's fantastic book, Witta, an Irish pagan tradition. So on a new moon, take a large raw potato and cut it in half. Scoop out the flesh from the middle of each with a teaspoon, and place a generous amount of dried powdered cinnamon in the hollow. Okay. Secure the potato back together. So there's just a hole in the middle, a teaspoon, cut out a little secret space in the middle. Put some cinnamon in there. Secure the potato back together with 8 toothpicks, and plant the potato under a fast-growing herb seedling such as rosemary or basil. As the herb grows and the moon swells to full, so will your sense of abundance. It's up to you. All right, so there's a little note here that says, aim to purchase true cinnamon, not cassia. True cinnamon is known as Cinnamomum zelancum, and cassia is known as Cinnamomum cassia. In true kitchen witch style, if you only have cassia on hand, it would still work. What matters most is the fragrance association, and, may I have your attention please, the intent behind the spell casting. So every time my skeptic pauses after sharing a spell with you, and you can hear me rolling my eyes, it's because I know it doesn't matter if you have a fucking potato or not. It's your intent. It's your intent. You don't need any of this shit. You just need your intent. You know, it's like, that's what's getting so hard for me about herbalism as I get more spiritual and energetic and realize that it's all energy and that you don't really need herbs to heal your body. You actually just need your intent. And the herbs help, of course, but really it's you that healed you. It's like, it makes it harder and harder to go back to Herbal Marie and be so allopathic. People love that. I know they love that. I know they want that. But like, I've come to the point where you don't need the herbs. I love the herbs. I love them. I love to have them. I love to taste them and eat them and be with them and drink them. But I know you don't need them. It's just this weird thing that I've been wrestling with for so long. But yeah, I love that she says, as such a reminder, it's all about your intent. So when you make the intent to live an abundant life and feel safe and warm and loved and use my strength to direct destiny, it's your intent that does all that. It's your intent. Yeah. And now the last card. We are ending with some sticky buns and cookies on the cinnamon card from Witch's Kitchen with a message of reignite. So yeah, there's cinnamon sticks and powdered cinnamon. And yeah, cookies and more cookies and cinnamon rolls, cinnamon buns, holy moly. Passion's gone, faded light, spark within needs to ignite. Eat a freshly baked bun or roll to boost your body, spirit, soul. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There, it is done. Cinnamon's pretty down to earth, isn't it? It's like, hey, get a potato, put some cinnamon in it. Hey, eat a sticky roll. Have a sticky bun. Have some tea with lime in it. Like enjoy your home. It's just real practical, isn't it? In a lot of ways. Yeah, and that's, I guess, what we be doing this week for sure. But this card says, your spirit has been dampened and your light has dimmed. Which is the actual truth for me. It actually has. It's so sad to say it that, you know, life has changed me. But life did, you know, and my mom's noticed, oh, you know, I'm just not as lighted as I was. And all my aunts noticed at Thanksgiving, and it's just like, if you guys want me to fake it, I will. I can. I know how to do that. Just turn the camera on and my my MK Ultra personality comes out. No trouble there. But yeah, I feel what Cinnamon is saying here. Absolutely. What once brought you joy has waned as you face the challenges and responsibilities life has dealt you. You're less than interested in what once aroused you, and your motivation has been diluted as a veil of cynicism cloaks your connection to the magical realms. It's time to see through new eyes with wonder and awe to discover a world you've long forgotten. My high vibration will assist in increasing your frequency to reach a higher state of spirituality. So, add fuel to the fire by inviting me to trigger the passion within you, for new zeal is what's required. My flames lick away old hurts and wounds and replace them with a sacred glow that reignites a spark of desire, focus, and intent. Just a pinch of me in powder form will supercharge your energy and power level to stimulate your true essence and rekindle the magic in your life. Oh, this is why I had to come back today, because I really am just absolutely 100% sick of not feeling zest, not feeling joy, not being this weekend. There was a parade that was happening right in front of my house. I didn't realize there was going to be a parade, so there was that moment this weekend that I literally did feel like I could tap into my inner child and be so excited, but it's I really want to feel more joyful all the time. That's not dependent on anyone or anything. And that is the work, and that is the journey, and that is the challenge, and I'm going to figure it the fuck out. I will, you will, we all will, or we won't. But I love that cinnamon is literally so timely for me, and hopefully I'll get more cinnamon in me, and I'll get more joy in me, and it'll help balance out the things in my life that are not joyful at all right now, and help me get into a place where I can see how to repair these other aspects that are going on for me, And I did have this passing thought while I was on break. I had forgotten that my ex actually hates cinnamon oil. And his ex, before him, when she was pissed at him, she would spritz cinnamon all through the house. And he told me that one time, and so then I would do that too. So I just feel I guess a little bit devilish, but I do feel cinnamon wants to make me feel better this week. I feel that's our big goal this week with cinnamon, is to feel comfort and protection and just feel better, to relieve some of this pain that we think we need to hold on to, but we don't need to hold on to it anymore. We can let it go, just cross the threshold, draw the line, cross it, and be oh, sorry, that pain, you got to stay behind. And then use this energy, this fire, for creativeness, for good, and for manifesting our destiny and abundance. That's what cinnamon wants to help us with this week. Now, there is a little remedy here for loss of appetite, for bronchitis or sore throats. You take your special mug and your preferred milk with some cinnamon power, that's funny, cinnamon powder. But yeah, it's going to feel like cinnamon power. And you could start with a stick of cinnamon too, if you really want to look cute. Add 1 teaspoon of honey, and you just gently heat it up. That's it. Just some milk and some cinnamon and some honey. And you could totally just do that with water if you weren't into milk. I'm trying to kind of switch over to almond milk. I just feel like I'm done with dairy for a little bit, although I'm still doing dairy, obviously, because I'm eating yogurt and rice pudding. But I just mean in my drinks. I'm trying to embrace almond and coconut for a while. Anyways, and they should work totally fine with the cinnamon. Here's a little na. Ancient Egyptians used cinnamon in their embalming processes. And cinnamon's value was 15 times greater than that of silver when Pliny the Elder wrote about this fragrant spice plant. Cinnamon has been used for over 4,000 years as a perfume and anointing oil. And if you do use cinnamon essential oil, just FYI, that shit's hot AF. This affirmation minute is brought to you from our sweet herb of the week, cinnamon. I feel safe, warm, and loved. I acknowledge my inner fires and use my strength to direct my destiny. I take a stand for my whole authentic self. I am full of inspiration and sexual creativity. It is with my intent that I create abundance. I supercharge my energy. My power rekindles the magic in my life. I feel safe, warm, and loved. I acknowledge my inner fires and use my strength to direct my destiny. I take a stand for my whole authentic self. I am full of inspiration and sexual creativity. It is with my intent that I create abundance. I supercharge my energy. My power rekindles the magic in my life. And so it is. Alright, so I did end up putting in the sexual in front of creativity because you know what? I don't want to deny it. It's there. But I think as women, as a whole, as a group, we do really need to maybe reevaluate how we just give this blessed power away at times in our life, and made me think of this challenge that I saw that I am definitely participating in. It's called the 90 Days No Men Challenge. So yeah, time to lock it up, ladies. And that's just not your pussies. That's like your mind and everything sometimes. Like, get back to who you are. Get back to knowing who your sacred self is and create from that power that is yours. And then, you know me, I'm like 90 days, heck, let's just go 90 years because I'm feeling done. All right, so anyways, on that note, thank you so much, Cinnamon. I really do feel warmer and safer and more loved, and I'm excited now that I can see what energy we're gonna shift this week together. And I just want to say I'm really so much appreciation for you. So thank you. Cinnamon, let's do it.